Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Rosa Maria. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a cloth napkins with minor corners. I'm moving the cloth napkins close to the camera so you can see the minor corners that we're going to be working on today's project. You know, making your own cloth napkins with minor corners is fun, and also it's an inexpensive way for you to set the table with your finished cloth napkins that will look polished and professional. In the description box below, I also provided a list of all the materials needed, and also I provided a link where you can purchase the materials in order to complete this project. So come along and sew with me. Let's get started. Before we begin our project here, it's important that we iron our fabric and remove all the creases throughout the fabric. You can use your ironing board, and also you can use a felt mat here. Once you completed ironing your fabric, we're going to take this print side here, and what we're going to do is we're going to flip it upside down. And once you flip it upside down, we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, before we begin, we have to make sure that we measure 1 inch fold at the end here of the fabric. If you can eyeball it, that's great. If not, I'm going to be using a sewing gauge. A sewing gauge is a great tool for me. It helps me get an accurate measurement, especially when I need to fold certain fabric projects. So I usually take this blue tab here and I slide it to the 1 inch mark, and once I have it slided to the 1 inch mark, then I can use this to help me, assist me in folding the fabric 1 inch. So I'm gonna slowly fold the fabric, and I'm gonna slowly try to get a 1 inch here fold. Okay, so I have a 1 inch here, so I'm gonna slowly measure 1 inch. Once I have a 1 inch over here, I'm going to take my iron and I'm going to gently iron the fabric. I'm going to slowly move the fabric because I want to make sure this is on my felt mat here. And I'm going to continue to use this gauge. Okay. Alrighty. Let me press here. And give it another press. Once you finish making it a 1 inch fold on this side of the corner of the fabric, you need to continue making the 1 inch fold on the other 3 corners of the fabric. So once you finish completing that, I'm going to show you the next step that is needed for this project. Once you finish making a 1 inch fold on each of your 4 corners, the next step is we're going to make another fold, and this fold will be 1/4. And again, I have here my sewing gauge tool, and I'm going to move it all the way to 1/4. Okay, measurement, here we go. It's a 1/4. I'm not sure if you can see it there in the camera, but it's 1/4 over here. So I'm going to take this sewing gauge over here, and I'm going to open up the fabric over here in the corner, and I'm going to fold it here, and I'm going to take my sewing gauge and see if I can try to get as close as possible a 1/4 measurement. Okay, once that I have a 1/4 measurement, okay, I'm going to take the iron here, do some adjusting, and I'm going to iron this little small section here. I'm going to shift, okay, this fabric on this felt mat so I can continue making the fold for 1/4 inch measurement. take the iron, pressing it. Let me move my tools out of the way so it makes it easier for me to iron. Okay, let me just get this end over here. Let me just press it nicely. Okay. Once you have your 1/4 fold done in this end of this corner, now you need to continue working on the other 3-4 corners. Once you complete those foldings of 1/4 in each of those corners, I'll show you the next step that we need to do. Okay, once you're finished making your 1/4 fold on each of the other 3 corners of the fabric, as you can see, I fold them all back. And I took the iron and I steam pressed it very beautifully so I could get the beautiful nice fold, as you can see. And I'm going to move this fabric over here to the corner, and I'm going to show you the next step on what we're going to be working on this area. Okay, the next step we're going to do is I'm going to unfold the fabric, and I want to show you something here. Right over here, it's like a diamond shape here, and the diamond shape, I'm going to use it as my guide, because underneath the diamond shape I'm going to make a little mark over here, and I'm going to take my marker here and I'm going to make a little dot here. And now I'm going to take my ruler here, and I'm going to slide this ruler close to the fabric and find my 2-inch. So this is 1 inch and 2 inch. I'm going to slide the ruler off the fabric a little bit so I can make my marking here of 2 inches. Slide my ruler again, and again I'm going to count 1, 2 inches and make my mark over here. So by making these marks, is very, very important, because then I can make a line that goes right across where the fabric is, from one corner to the other corner. And I'm going to use this line here that I made that will makes it easier when I go to the sewing machine to make a straight line. So now I'm going to show you another step. So once I make that little line, I am going to align the fabric. And by aligning the fabric, it's close. I just want to make sure that the lines that I made in the other side matches the line over here in the front. And by doing that, I'm going to flip or fold this part of the fabric. Okay. And then I'm going to do one more thing to make my life a little much easier before I go to the sewing machine. I just want to extend this marking line more. So when I sew, I'm able to use this line as a guide to sew straight across. Okay, I'll just hold it like this and take it to the sewing machine, and then I'll meet you there. Okay, we're at the sewing machine. Make sure you have a matching thread for the top and also a matching for the bob. Okay, I line up. I have my fabric here line up. I already lowered my foot here, and I'm gonna slowly manually just move this a little bit closely, and then I'm gonna see if I can find my presser foot. Okay, I am going to slowly back stitch across, and then slowly back stitch. Lift my foot lever, cut the excess fabric. As you can see, I stitch across very nicely, I'm going to flip the fabric because I want to remove this extra fabric out of the way. And I'm gonna make sure that I cut as close as possible to the fabric. As you can see, that's how I would like it to look like. Okay, now I'm gonna take my finger here and I'm gonna press the fabric all the way in. And by pressing the fabric all the way in, this is how I will like my minor corner to look like. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to iron it nicely, and I need you to also work on the other 3 corners to look like this. Once you finish sewing, making the corners look like this corner here, then I'll show you the next step that we need to do. Once you finish making the minor corners for each of the other 3 corners of the fabric, I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and I'm going to show you. I'm going to be making a straight stitch going down across the fabric. So let's go to the sewing machine and I'll show you what needs to be done. Okay, at the sewing machine I already have my needle already centered and positioned, and I have my foot over here aligned against this fold here, the fabric, and I'm going to start to sew. I get to this corner here, I'm going to just pivot the fabric and line it up against the footer. Again, I come across here, the corner. I'm going to pivot, put the foot down. I'm going to align this again and just sew 1 stitch and then try again. And I'm going to continue to sew. Okay, I finished sewing all across all 4 corners of the fabric. I'm not sure if you're able to see it closely at the camera. Once you've done that, then you have completed your sewing project. I hope you enjoy watching the tutorial, and if you like watching this video, please give it a thumbs up and please share with your friends and family. And if you're not a subscriber, please click on the red subscriber button, and when you do that, YouTube will notify you every time I upload a new video. Well, until next time, enjoy your day.